IDBI Bank is in question, good set of numbers, and Mr. Sharma, who's the MD and CEO of IDBI Bank, is joining us for more on the trajectory of the numbers. Mr. Sharma, I was just looking at the credit growth, 2 consecutive quarters, almost 17% you've clocked. Are there any reason to relook at your numbers or make any change in your targets, because you have very high growth coming in already?
You're right. Initially, at the beginning of the year, we had given a target of 10 to 12% growth. But what we have seen is that there is good demand coming in both retail and corporate portfolio. So we have grown by 15% in retail. And retail, when I say it is SRA as well as the known SRA portfolio, that is MSME and agriculture. And we have also shown good growth in gold loan accounts and the trades portfolio. And at the same time, the corporate has also gone quite substantially. And whatever growth has happened in corporate, partly it has happened in LCA bill discounting also. And wherever growth we have taken in corporate, it is mainly 80% growth has come from A and above rated accounts. So while the growth has happened, but we have also ensured the quality of the advances. So that way it's quite diversified growth. And it has happened both in retail as well as corporate. And I'm quite hopeful that with this speed and the type of demand which is forthcoming, we may be able to achieve more than 15% growth in the advances in the fourth quarter also.
What's your take on the kind of deposit growth which you have actually clocked this time? That is seen as slightly on the lower side, according to many. Credit growth is strong, deposit growth on the lower side. How are you reading it?
Yes, of course, the cost deposit growth is low as compared to the earlier quarters. It is 4%. Earlier we were growing at around 10%. But as you see, there is quite competition in the deposit growth. And of course, CASA has also grown by 4% because of the increasing interest rate scenario. The customers, they are inclined to transfer their CASA balances to the deposits account. But still we have been able to maintain CASA ratio of 54%. Going forward, yes, we have been aggressively following up with the branches and our field staff to show much better growth in deposits so that we can achieve at least 8 to 10% growth in deposits, both in CASA as well as the retail term deposit. But yes, now we have also started resorting to bulk deposits, and it has shown good growth. But I can say one thing, our liquidity position is quite comfortable, and as such we don't foresee any problem as far as liquidity is concerned.
Talk to us a little bit about your asset quality improvement. Are you on track to bring your GNPAs lower than 1% by next quarter?
I'll mention it in two ways. One, gross NPA at one, another is net NPA. Net NPA, of course, as you have seen already, we are around 1%. September quarter it was 1.15, which has now declined to 1.07%. Our provision coverage ratio is the highest in the industry. Now it has reached 98% level. But of course, the gross NPA was high earlier, around 15%, which has now declined to 13.82%. Partly we have done recovery, partly we have written off also. But now, as I had indicated earlier, that some of the accounts will be transferred to NARCL, and the process has started. Of course, I am happy to say that one account we have already transferred to NARCL, and that was the first account to be transferred, and it will help us in reducing by gross NPA by almost 2.2%. It was a big account. So with that, with this speed now, since NARCL has started taking over accounts and some good recoveries are also expected during this fourth quarter, I am quite hopeful now that we will be able to reduce our gross NPA less than 10% by March 23.
Let's talk about your NIM performance, 4.59% or thereabout. What is the scope to improve NIMs from here on?
Right. In fact, in the increasing interest rate scenario, initial months there is always improvement in NIM, and that we have experienced here also. But having said that, our cost of deposit is still one of the lowest in the industry. This quarter, of course, there was increase in cost of deposit. It was only, marginal, only 8 basis point. And partly the interest rates on advances are also increasing. So that way, whatever impact is there, that proper transmission happens. But my core NIM, excluding interest on the income tax refund and even on recoveries, because partly it goes in the recovery part of the amount goes towards interest account. Even we exclude that, the core NIM was 3.94%, and I'm quite hopeful that in the coming quarters also we will be able to maintain our NIM at least above 3.75%.
Mr. Sharma, talk to us about how ROE and ROAs are likely to expand from 1.2 and around 16% currently, which you have, by March.
Yeah, in fact, I am quite happy that we had given a target of 1% ROA for this current financial year, and we have already for this quarter, of course, we have achieved 1.22, but for 9 months cumulative, if you see, it is around 1.09%. So I'm quite hopeful that overall for the year it will be above 1.1% in any case, and next year, of course, we will try to improve it upon further. And both all the ratios, like not only ROA, ROE, but there will be improvement visible in cost to income ratio also, NIM also, and other efficiency.
Wrap on the show. Thanks, Mr. Sharma, for joining us, and viewers for watching this show. Thanks very much. Goodbye.